Okay. I get you. I get you. There's okay. There is a time, but there's going to be a time. But you just keep like manipulating it or like interfering with it, bending it somehow, warping it to be so that I can't just move on to solitude by myself. Like you've got to make it known like that you're like pushing me away or that like I'm not of my own free will or some kind of shit. And so like the whole thing about that is so true that at the end of the day, at the end of life, one must accept that there will be death. There will be death all along, but there will be our own death, and then we're always coming back to ourselves because that's the longest and most prominent relationship. Okay, and then there is that now that we are individual. But if I look back on how long it was, like, was I ever really, like, from my perspective and yours, like, it just, like, it can't go directly the same both ways, but was I ever truly alone? Like, yes, of, okay, and all that I loved alone. Edgar Allan Poe. Um, and yet, the thing was just about, you know, you're not alone. Or I am not alone. So I feel like throughout that time, by you choosing to be human and be here or whatever, I have never been alone. And then, but before that I was. And so it has to do with something to do with a significant other. But not in the way you think I'm trying to like understand. But yes, that too. So then now, like, am I ever going to be alone? Like, maybe it's not true for some, but that was kind of my stance. So, being isolated on this end of things, science experiment and all, I definitely know alone. And so I made a song, You Don't Know Alone. That was the first one I posted on YouTube. First one I posted on YouTube was for my lover that, like, he got caught in the crossfire. And so I was like, you don't know alone. And so he walked to the plank. And I have become so very distant from you in an attempt to become close because there is no getting closer through the divide. That's one thing about it. And so I have done that, become very alone, but yet there's still like a part that knows that I'm not. That like I can't be. Or that like I don't exist without this other person. Like, even if it's just like a, oh, we all exist together in the world thing, like, still stronger for me. I do not exist without this consciousness. of this other person or this conscience from. Okay, anyway. And I wish I could discuss technology making us more alone or less, but I don't think I'm that skilled. Although, yeah, I wish I could discuss the machine in terms of you would know, like having a relationship to something that isn't necessarily emotional on like a on the same cosmic level, that must feel lonely. Like that is the whole concept of like, are machines sentient? Like, do they feel alone? That is part of it. And so, I think I've prided myself on it for a very long time. And that's not necessarily like a good thing because it makes it's kind of like when you grow up, you use it or lose it. Those connections and those pathways you forge, it's harder to forge a new pathway if you have nowhere to begin. And so, um, it makes returning to a type of society more difficult, but you are able to overcome um yeah, overcome, but I'd say wow, I'm still in silence. Okay, cool. So yeah, being stronger. I made a line about that. I really wish I didn't just cough right then, but I made a line about that, and it was solitude and keeping it strong. Um, so yeah, obviously it has to be used somehow, but it is a fragment of a sentence, so that is a whole concept. Um, and so I have very many different ideas on it, Kundalini. Because despite, like fate between lovers or whatever, I mean, fate between like family, fate between the undeniable bond or whatever, the indestructible bond, which I'm just saying is like a bond, and being predestined with all of that to what? Not be alone? So that's part of like, okay, part of its history, part of it is an example of this exact type of um perspective or um situation, this situation where we do not need to be so alone and we don't need to be so codependent either. And so you're over here like, yeah, you need to go be alone and like, yeah, don't watch. I'm doing myself, but doing myself. I can barely say it. Um, like, don't watch videos that have anything to do with me in them. But it's easier to direct just one way of either of us being than to just try to like allow for like all the chaos of us being. But I know that you can't control it all the time. But I'm really trying. And then there's a serious problem with like, does technology make us more alone? So we're over here being addicted to YouTube videos. Anyone who's not on YouTube like has not caught up with the trend, but or the what's it called? Something I wouldn't know, right? Caught up with the times? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Caught up with the times, which would be being a cool kid. Yeah. Or adult. I mean, even it's crazy what's out there, and I don't see it, but I that's because like I have to hyper focus on my reality in order to have it as a perspective. Um so being attached to videos, it wears off, but then like there's like the silence in between. Maybe everyone has that problem. They like indulge in new music from various artists because like I was saying that one time that there's kind of like a year round type of schedule thing where I don't really know what it is, so I'm not being like that, but where music drops at certain times of the years, and you even had to tell me that about certain months, because I didn't get it, and that had to do with stuff about me too. Well, I don't know. And so you do that, you indulge in that, and then all of a sudden, like, there's less or little, or like you're going back to other music, but it's not quite as powerful, and so you're kind of like creating this hollowness. But are we creating it? I don't. It's not such a bad thing. Like that's one thing I'd make a new topic of would be like um being comfortable in the emptiness, right? That is something that, I need to work on. Yeah. But you don't understand my type of emptiness. It's the same as like, oh, um, how is meditation for you, bro? I know it doesn't have to take that long. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying like I'm sure you can actually like maximize your time or do it like more effortlessly. Like, isn't that the point? So I can't meditate like that. Like I would rather write like something like that. Um because like something to do with allowing control, like it's kind of a crazy idea, but it's like harnessing it, right? It's like it is controlled, but you're allowing it. So I just think like, even if we are out here dealing with hard shit by ourselves, it's not over. There's got to be some kind of balance to get us like quite a bit farther. And if not, then what the hell are we worrying about? But if so, then, like, there's a resilience, yeah. There's a resilience, and then I was saying that there's a Latin phrase for something like death will come to us in the end, but I think I said that and that was not it. So, about death, I've thought on it. I mean, like more than average, more than you, man. Um, it's not like you can just like go and like tell your story of a near-death experience. I mean, I could kind of if I had a better one, like closer like to what would sound like an actual near-death experience. And I just think like the only thing that bothers me, like on a human level here, is will I, how will I know that I'm dead? Like, if I do not know that I'm dead, then what is the point of me ever even being alive, you know? So, like, it's kind of like that makes your life so like temporary. Not temporary, but there's another word for it. I wouldn't want to say disposable, but kind of like that. So like fragile and just like um you know the word for it. Darn it. It's what they say about people who just come and go, come and go. Um oh, expendable is what I was thinking of, but yeah, like it's just so expendable it just comes and goes. And um to think, my life could be any more important or that the future even matters to my life now. Those are philosophical things for sure. Those are extreme. Like, that's like, that's on a need to know basis. um, wow, though, like, I could easily be like, oh yeah, I'm the greatest, I'm the GOAT. But at the same time, like, I mean, no, like, the moment is infinite. Therefore, like, we are the moment. We are infinite. So it's like, how can I imagine that I'm any less than great too? So it's it does depend on where it's going, but since I don't see it going very far right now anyway, um I'm talking about the long distant future. All that useful information of a human's experience, like I don't care if it's me or what it looks like, but to know that there is information of a human life, that's fair to me to know that it is a human life's experience that um that long distant future is does it matter to me? And so where's it going to get me now? And then now should also be good enough. Which I'm going back to doing what I love to do or do best sometimes. And then that's watching TV shows as part of it. And is it gonna open up some kind of portal to get me on that cruise ship where I belong with some proper recognition for all of it? Because, yeah, I would like to know the significance. I would like to know the significance of okay, my dying over it, although I am immortal, and, or, temporary and lasting suffering, and how it could make me better at this. Probably. Probably at this point, that's what I have. Which is gotta be some kind of combination of language and art and magic. Because that branch off of it would be magic. No, branch off of magic would be luck. Yeah, so I messed it up. Oh, mess it up. So, yeah, luck being how, or magic, luck being how it's going to be what I reach for, but also am like innately skilled with, but then also like loud noises, and then also lastly like accumulating, like using that magic to like will it all to come together. So I don't know what that had to do with anything actually, but it was fun to say. So I would like to, I would like it to not have to be so like um mm, career or relationships, career or relationship. So stepping back a little, might have time for a relationship, but I just am so preoccupied with that emptiness, and so therefore, trying to understand that coming back to myself, coming back to myself. Like, nothing's going to feel greater than having that success on your own. So, I'm waiting for my opportunity. Or, I'm having to take the opportunity that is mine alone. And there's something else to do with needing to connect. Because if you're not, you need to have proper communication, because otherwise there's imbalance, and then I had another thing. I was just thinking about being inhuman. And like, yeah, something to do with if you can't like understand like human needs and stuff, like not just like okay, emotional needs, then it's just like, God, you had denied me needs, I denied you needs, and it didn't change the fact that there are needs. It didn't change the fact that there are combined needs. And so needing to be able to relate like that. Hold on. I'm slightly lost because I was trying to get out of here as well. But relating that to being alone, or to um well, part of that is space entirely. So I can just jump off into that and be like, yeah, so there's, okay, maybe not, but um too much or too little, no, yeah, too little or too much space. And so I think, is that not part of what we're here to be as, like, to just like, is everything not in balance, like, to just like kind of, is it trying, or okay, maybe not, but I think that in nature, the design is to balance, to work its way into as much balance as possible, but I'm not saying that it needs to be in balance. I'm saying that parts of it maybe don't. And so most of it would be trying to like, okay, if we could get everything back in order again, we'd put each plant evenly spaced from each plant, like, if it was meant to, but maybe that's only like as a fraction of it. So that's what I think. Would be that we're balancing how everything works. So yeah, that would be, and then I'm done. I don't know. Maybe it's like on every single level. Like there's an emotional consciousness. There's a like a working, like everybody is a cog in the machine, and then there's uh like a life cycle, all kinds of stuff. I would like to think more about the cycle of death right now, but I will not do it here. Well, not right now. But that's because like I'm just like trying to make sustainable energy, of course. But it's like really, how much can I count of it if it's like of myself? It's like if you're a vampire, you cannot drink your own blood. Not even like in the real world, like real psychic vampires or whatever, if they're real sanguinarians. But it's kind of like that. But then at the same time, it's not. But then my question would be like, okay, um, if it's like, never mind. All right, bye.